Ooh-wee.
Chilling at the head of the table where the bosses sit, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline.
Ready for it? It's coming.
Walk me out, get ready to big smile, no handcuff our officers. Hold on, wait.
Hold on, wait.
They lost the script, we got some shooters.
Wow.
It's off the hip. Yeah. Oh, chilling at the head of the table where the bosses sit, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate.
February 21st, 2025. Unwelcome your doors. Off the hip, baby.
It seems like just yesterday we just had the Super Bowl and the Royal Rumble. Telling you folks, WrestleMania going to come and go very quickly. Enjoy some of the positives that we get to see over the next couple months. Or, yeah, month and a half, basically.
Chat, y'all see it on the screen. The final boss. I think with no further ado, I think it's time we get into it, chat. Ooh-wee.
Finally, The Rock has come back to New Orleans.
Oh my word. I'm not gonna lie, this was the most anticipated thing going on this Friday.
In such a short amount of time, mind you, because this came very late yesterday. And some of us thought, like, are they trolling? This don't just come out of nowhere, especially with him of all people.
And I ended my night early yesterday, so this was a lot of news to digest just waking up today, Friday. I was like, oh, whoa, what's going on now?
He's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And many kind of presume the obvious because they're in the great city of New Orleans, Louisiana. And there have been rumor and innuendo that WrestleMania was going to be there for the third time in 15 years. And it just so happened that he just happened to be in the neighborhood. Like, hey, Hunter, I'm just here in the French Quarter just having a couple beignets. I'm having a few nice little wholesome cocktails featuring Terramana whiskey. Salud. I'm going to pull up.
Man.
But we'll get to that.
I'm not going to lie. Like, well, it's not a thing. It's for a fact. The Rock knows how to get the people going. He knows how to get everybody invested once again. And that he just did. He had us, bro, like, I'm telling you, I feel like some of the folks, when they started off SmackDown, they looked impatient in the crowd. Like, they was hoping that the show started off with the final boss.
Nah.
Man.
We're going to make you wait. Again.
That's how it felt, honestly.
And to me, that's what made it more special. Because, again, they're not just getting out the way. This puts more importance, more significance on him appearing because, again, yes, it's still the normal SmackDown, but it's proving that, hey, you guys, it's still business as usual. I'll pick my spot. Some folks had an issue with the spot that was picked, but hey, again, this is WrestleMania season. Love it or hate it, this is where you get the most out of the heavy hitters, and The Rock is very much a heavy fucking hitter. He is the heavy hitter.
Man, like, he's really that last calling card. Like, before, a couple years ago, you could go down the well and call a few people back.
You could call Undertaker. And now, granted, we're getting Cena as well, but again, back in the days, it was Undertaker. Again, love him or hate him, it was Brock. Now you have essentially 1A and 1B when folks talk about the go to the World Wrestling Entertainment Federation, whatever. You have The Rock and John Cena. This is Jordan and Kobe right here. Like, come on. This is Mania season, for crying out loud.
Now,
this is what the All-Star Game should be. Sorry for you NBA fans, but again, Braun, bad form.
Now, I know we spoke a little about this off air, but, like, I felt this wasn't done, like, it wasn't a long, drawn-out plan. This was done, in such short notice. It felt like It
It
kind of
was the
felt like
it
last
was
year
the Vince
almost.
McMahon. We're doing it like 5 minutes before shit actually happened type deal.
Yeah, that's the vibe I got from tonight. Like to be, and you want to go straight into the like that whole rock segment, or you want to
I,
start off from beginning of the night?
I
Because
mean, you know how we do it. We get the topic out the way because we all know folks want to just get right to the point. Everything else had its moments, but again, let's give this time that moment its appreciation, the spotlight that it deserves. We get at the top of the third hour in my opinion, the greatest mashup that WWE has ever produced.
man,
This this got Jim Johnston going. You can do it. I'll be damned. We get the final boss Hollywood Rock theme blended with the Black is Hot, a
I'm
Little
not
Wayne
gonna lie, that
classic,
had me. That had me.
uh, Mr. New Orleans, Wheezy F Baby. Again, the goat with the goat, and that WWE, please release the full version of that. I beg of you. I will pay for it. You know I'm good for it. I need that track.
Man, I felt like
I'm good.
it
I'm good. I'm good.
initially. I forgot they was in New Orleans, so when I see the Rock's mute or like it says the Rock on the Titantron, and then it transitions into the Block is Hot, I was kind of like, okay, he doesn't do this for every city. So I was like, this is fire. Don't get me wrong. I was okay, but where we going
Like
with
I said,
this?
there's a reason they made us wait for this.
Yeah, I'm like, where exactly are we going? Then the transition into his music was just flawless. Like he gets right into the final boss theme. Man, he was giving us a little bit of everything with this promo tonight.
And this is one. This is maybe again. We're still 2 months in. This is like the second time I legitimately like spat my drink out in complete disbelief. Like, oh, we ain't fucking around. Yeah, we got the bag. We spending the bag now. We
Man,
doing it. And again, do with this what you may. But once again, this is another one finger salute to Tony Khan down in Jacksonville. You want to spend money on joints? All right. You want to spend money on Final Countdown? Cool. Guess what? We spending money on Wayne, on vintage Wayne, the local hero. We with the culture.
they went crazy with that. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, definitely had everybody hype. He
It's
and
like that. It's like that one deep cut that everyone still knows about,
man,
and
Rock
there ain't many
is
songs like
pandering.
that.
Nah, he panders into the crowd. He's giving the crowd some love, showing some love to New Orleans, and he lets them know that they're gonna be back for WrestleMania next year.
And like we touched on off air, this is now the third time in about 15 years. Now we know California, Los Angeles, New York City, Barclays, MSG. Those are the homes for WWE. Can we now mark New Orleans as one of those homes, at least for WrestleMania?
I think
Because
it's
it
safe to say.
because this reminds me of the time where they were at like Mania and SummerSlam at Barclays. It seemed like almost every year or every couple months. And again, it's a beautiful city. It's an amazing venue. I'm all for it. The question is, how can you top what you did the years before, especially last year? Because if you notice, they're sticking with the 2 night faction, and I guess that's gonna be the thing for the future with the Big Four. We talked about this, but
Hmm.
again, this is an indoor venue. Philly was outdoor. How are you gonna top what you did last year at an outdoor venue? SummerSlam was an outdoor venue.
Mm.
I'm very curious to see how that's gonna look.
They're gonna have to pull out the stops, really make it a spectacle.
Just please don't make that walkway 100 yards, please.
Oh man.
Anything, but if you're gonna do that, be like the old WrestleManias. Bring out the little trucks that just cart them out. Give us that old school feel again. This era generation, they know about that. Age to you and I, we did our research. We got to see that thanks to the network, thanks to Peacock. Again, those shows are just as good. Now, do that old school feel with this era. We see the old school feel with Saturday's Main Event. Do that with the granddaddy of them all. You got the money
Man,
for it. I mean, shit.
next year WrestleMania, I think it's gonna be lit. That theme in New Orleans, I can only imagine. It's really gonna be like the last time they was in New Orleans for WrestleMania. It was lit to me, to be honest. Like the whole
They
theme,
were there a few years after that.
like that shit was lit. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool to get them back into that city. I do think, like you said, it's gonna become one of their homes, Louisiana.
And again, Michael Colo saying, "Will we get another miracle on Bourbon Street?"
Mm,
How you doing?
tough line.
But again, as we got into the segment, The Rock, again, I know folks gonna joke about this, but how do you feel about these impromptu acapella concerts?
I mean, they cool. Show a little personality. Show a
I
little.
mean,
You know what I'm saying?
he can sing.
I don't mind. I think it's cool for a laugh. That's always kind of what he did too.
Yeah,
So it's not too okay. You doing something extra like.
but what I thought was absolutely amazing, and again, it seems like only The Rock has this power over us. He can make you want to boom, and you still go and cheer him.
Mhm.
He's telling them off, and yeah, there's some boos, but you still hear the cheers like, yeah, he's doing the thing.
Rocky, Rock. Yeah.
And again, he's the only one that he's one of the few that's not only mastered it, but he's still keeping it alive today.
I think with the Rock, it's to me. I always looked at him like, aside from Rocky Maivia, I'm talking like Nation of Domination. Like he always kind of been a
That's
heel
where it
to
started.
me. Yeah, he's always been a heel to me. So.
And again, think about it. When he first came out, we saw Die Rocky Die, and then
Yep.
they repackage him with the Nation. He boots out Farouk, and then takes it over. Then he joins Vince. Then he becomes the People's Champion. Then he has to take on. Then he draws out Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Then he has the War of the Era with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Then we fast forward. Then we get him making Brock Lesnar. Then we have once, twice in a lifetime with John Cena. We could have had we still have a chance for him versus Roman, but now we're seeing some, yes, he's still the final boss, but this is a very different final boss. And I'll get to that in a moment, but he then asks Cody Rhodes to come out. And did you hear that pop for the American Nightmare, the WWE champion?
When he put his championship up in the air, I thought something happened because the way that the crowd erupted. It was like they're saying one more time, this is our guy. Like, don't. That's kind of what I felt. Like the crowd was kind
And
of saying something with that.
and especially anytime when you have them against either the Rock or the Bloodline, they get just a little bit louder because it it's almost I look at it almost like the Kendrick victory lap over Drake. Like when you're certain areas and you're doing the Not Like Us song, the crowd's just a little bit louder. Cody's like that around the Bloodline and the Rock, so they get just a little bit louder because again, they're attempting to rub in their face saying, yeah, you tried to take this from us.
Mhm.
Much like the Yes movement with Daniel Bryan versus the Authority versus Evolution. You tried to take this from us. They're still very much a rebellion for Cody, especially around them. But as we learn, Rock gets into a very fascinating monologue specifying that Cody is a great champion. And after the second and third time and so on, we got to thinking, what are you doing? Like,
Mhm.
what we talk? What's this about? Like, you've been known to have some shit up your sleeve, We see you ain't got no sleeves on, so what's going on?
I felt like he was being very methodical, kind of speaking in riddles. Like
I mean, shit,
he,
20 years in Hollywood, he's learned something.
yeah, he's speaking and telling Cody to read between the lines here. Like it seems like Cody, he just like almost every promo. Sometimes these days, Cody just looks confused, like he doesn't understand what's going on.
You said read between the lines.
Hmm.
Do you remember the words that Rock told Cody the Raw after WrestleMania 40?
You gonna have to elaborate.
Someday I will be back for this.
Yep.
This isn't over. And I'm sure this is going to be mentioned probably. Anyways, spoiler alert, Rock has presented Cody with an ultimatum. I'll get to that shortly, but the ultimatum has been demanded to have a response at the Elimination Chamber. With that being said, Rock before SmackDown when they posted a picture of a Rolex that was gifted to him after Mania. As we learned, fast forward to my point, the Raw after WrestleMania 40, The Rock reaches into his pocket and hands something to Cody. We still have no clue what it is. Some people believe it was the actual watch that Dusty had. Some believe it was the watch that Cody had gifted Rock. So I feel that may be revisited in the weeks to come.
Mm.
What and again, The Rock is a master at, again, as you and I jokingly say, long-term storytelling. He is right now the professor of leaving the perfect Easter eggs at perfect times. Again, with his tenure in Hollywood, he's learned how to make a movie, whether for better or worse. But again, he knows how to put together a program. It's very different from the WWE of old, in which it's more personally based. Like Michael Cole has said on Logan Paul's podcast, it's very much entertainment based. Well, who knows entertainment better than Dwayne the Rock Johnson? Some people, a man that people believe is the most famous man in the entertainment business.
Good point. Good point.
So, and like much like Snake Eyes has said in past PLEs all last year, certain shows that had featured the Bloodline felt like a movie. The whole program felt like a movie. We praised all their cutscenes and the backstage promos, and they felt like an episode of a TV show. This man is the mastermind behind that, and he has the cerebral assassin as his right hand man.
Mm.
Again, we've talked about they're making the most out of the bare minimum. Well, these guys know the book. They wrote the book out of the bare minimum. It's all adding up now.
And it's like when I'm looking at this promo, my immediate thoughts is, all right. It seems like what they want us to pick up is he wants Cody to join the corporate side, the dark side, whatever one may call it. Turn that heel. And it would make sense if they go strictly down that. But at the same token, I feel there's a route where it doesn't make sense. Like again, there was other times things happened to Cody. He could have took a real deep darker turn with this Kevin Owens, and Rock is just gonna come and offer him things, and he's just gonna, like you said, we would have to see in the coming weeks what else happens. But just off of me looking at this, it just wouldn't make sense for Cody to agree. So I propose he declines, and The Rock is gonna cost him at WrestleMania to whoever wins the Chamber match. I don't think they're gonna completely screw over the winner of the Chamber either.
You know, uh, as far as the first half, which said, I just some flashbacks that just dawned upon me. Over the course of the last 12 months, I've referenced that Cody may return to the black-haired Cody Rhodes. Now, that particular Cody Rhodes, I feel there may be a certain Mandela effect with that particular character because some people believe that he was just evil just for the sake of being petty, when in reality, this man, again, he did have a vindictive side, but the purpose was he still had the money. He's therefore he was, and because of his last name, he's guaranteed the power, almost like the Kingpin and Spider Man to a degree.
Mm.
But only in this case, excuse me, he felt like the power that he claims is that he now has is his birthright because it was taken from his father back in the day. Now, the reason why I'm saying this again, as we learned, The Rock wants Cody to join this, whether this partnership faction, as he stated, he always wanted a brother,
Yeah, that was
and
another
he
funny line to me
and
that
he
he
would like
said.
that in Cody. But more importantly, he wants Cody to be his champion. Now it seems like this now as I mentioned before, this seems like a very different final boss. This seems like the villain that Vince had always aspired to be. Now he was still hated, but this is a much more evolved level of it, as it seems to me. This is still an early stage of it, but this is what it reminded me of. Like this is what he was trying to do, or just what he started doing. But again, Vince ended up being Vince.
I think it just took a little longer with Vince because we did get the corporate, and then a lot of it was just jumbled up. Like I felt like there was times people just joining
But
with no real good rhyme or reason. It was just
right, but in this case, the people that are going to be selected, assuming there's more than one person. Now we talked about off air. I'll get to that here in a moment. But everyone, the Cody in particular, he's being chosen for a reason. He's seen how the people have adored him. Rock reference he is a great champion, but be my champion. Yes, the people chose you. The people chose me a long time ago, but I want you to, with all the bullshit that I put you through, put that beside you. Be for me what you are for them. But it got deeper than that. Man, oh man, did it get deeper than that. You see, AC done postured up for this.
man.
Cody then replies, "Is this championship the only thing you want?" Rock says, "No, no, no. Cody, I want your soul."
That oh man.
That took the air out of the room. That took the air out of the damn city. You had people doing the Fred Sanford. You hear that, Elizabeth? I'm coming to see you. And he walks
That
away.
line, like you said, it had everybody captivated, waiting to see what happens next. After I digested it, I'm like, yo, the final boss is the funniest character alive.
And he's saying, he said that because he technically is a member of the board of directors, therefore he has all the power. He is the legitimate boss. He is one of the individuals that says whether or not so and so gets paid. One could argue he is now a reason for the budget cuts or the roster cuts. Let's just call a spade a spade. And he sees the numbers that Cody's doing from a merchandise standpoint or whatever. And he's saying, hey, you and I be a team. I will guarantee you money for the rest of your life. And and then once he said that, I got to thinking because it's ironic that Seth Rollins had done an interview recently talking about how when he retires, he would like to have ownership in WWE.
I seen that.
So can you imagine if The Rock recruits Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins? But
That'd be
let's not
wild.
stop there. Let's not stop there because you and I talked about this off air.
hmm
There's another individual that is claiming that he wants to reclaim the throne. And let's be honest, this is essentially the Kobe Bryant to Rock's Michael Jordan. I'm talking about John Cena. For those that may not recall, John Cena stated that it is best for business that he gets number 17.
Mm-hmm.
So, what if The Rock's faction is not only his chapter of the bloodline, but he has in the palm of his hands the past, the present, and the future for the company. He has the current 16-time world champion John Cena. He has the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, the current world champion, and he has Seth freaking Rollins at his disposal, along with whoever he may recruit with the bloodline. Could you imagine if he also recruits main event Jey Uso?
That'd be crazy.
Presuming Jay defeats Gunther at WrestleMania. What does that do for the OTC Roman Reigns? Talk about a civil war. This man didn't make his Sinister Six versus your Avengers.
It's gonna be very interesting how everything's gonna play out.
Just when we think we got all the answers, the Brahma Bull himself changes all the questions.
Do you feel
I
like
I
this is?
fucking love this.
Do you feel like they got to be delicate with this situation, or it could kind of like unfold in any
Oh no,
which
you can
matter?
do the way the Rock set the table. You can do this probably 20 different ways before you fuck this up. Amethyst, welcome aboard. You're half an hour late. Where you been? But
Roman going
again,
to
yeah, to
stop
answer your point, yeah,
Cody.
that the way he set the table, he's basically mapped shit out from now until 2 weeks after WrestleMania. And there's the way he's probably looking at Triple H. There's no way you can fuck this up. He's basically simplified the next few weeks for him.
Oof.
Now the
Yeah, I
question
mean, I'm
is,
kind of on board with you. I don't think they could really. I'm just trying to play a scenario that would not
but the
favor.
question is, where do they start?
I mean, I think they start at the chamber, but what's
But
Cody
no,
doing at the
I'm
chamber?
talking about regardless of where they go after the chamber. What's the starting point after that?
I mean,
Because
if
because
Cody declines,
be-
The Rock could just walk off.
think about it like this way. The Rock basically he's telling us he wrote the novel, like the book series. Chamber is going to be the 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 story before the story. So we're like chapter 0 basically. So that'll be the chamber. After that, then we're getting chapter 1.
WrestleMania.
Chapter 1 will be WrestleMania.
Hmm.
Yes.
Definitely. Cause I think just the chamber is gonna be a tease, and then what we're gonna have a few 4 weeks leading into it that we're gonna be salivating, waiting. That's
And
just
and
gonna
and,
make us want WrestleMania.
I'm telling you right now, the from what the Rock's telling me, with the way he's been over the years, put this on the docket right now, ladies and gentlemen. Mark your calendars. Razor heard it first. You're gonna hear a special rant right now. We are now on the road to Rock, or not, no, no, excuse me, Cody Roman 3, which will set up Rock versus Roman at next year's WrestleMania in New Orleans.
Mm.
SummerSlam Survivor Series, that's when we'll have Cody Roman 3. Because again, I'm under the assumption that Cody will ultimately join The Rock and Cody will finally be a heel, because it's only appropriate that when he has the rubber match with Roman, Roman will win that. Cody will be a heel, and Roman will be the knight in shining armor trying to defeat the tyranny of The Rock.
So you think this Lisa Roman versus Rock versus Cody? I mean, like,
It won't be. It
I
won't be.
see everything. That's the beauty
But
about the way this. It's just a matter of waiting for real.
and I think that you could also do a triple threat, but I think that would be the more challenging part because again, everybody's. I mean, people are gonna at that point. Cody's gonna be booed regardless. I just feel that if you do the earlier route, if you do Rock versus Cody 3, that would ultimately make Rock versus Roman more important. Because let's be honest, at the end of the day, who's going to be the bigger draw as a babyface, Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes? It's obvious. It's the OTC. So that would ultimately generate more revenue, which it seems that's what they're all about lately. And that would draw probably do better numbers than a triple threat.
I mean, that's the to me that's the beauty about having two titles like they do now. Though anything can happen from now to. I mean, like really, realistically, we could have a draft and we seeing that championship Cody's holding going back to Raw. Like we could be seeing things get switched up.
Or like I said, since Roman does not have a title match, he'll just have to beat up on Seth Rollins at Mania. The next time Roman wins a championship, give him the Bruno run. I don't give a shit who you got to throw sacrifice. Roman Reigns is getting the Bruno San Martino 7 year consecutive run, and he will get both championships on the way because by then Netflix will have it all, and he will once again be the undisputed champion for both shows. It's going to happen. Who else is going to do it?
Shit.
Exactly. Who else got the stroke? Who else got the stroke to do it? Nobody. Cena's gonna be gone. Seth won't be able to do it. Only Roman.
I'm gonna be honest. If there's one thing I could say, if I like just say I'm surprised by anything, is the fact that I thought going into WrestleMania season right now would be more like bloodline kind of like I think the only thing bloodline I'm seeing right now is Jacob and Solo's
And
story
that's a maybe.
developing. Yeah, like
But again, that's what we've been spoiled to have for the last 4 years, 5 years. And again, like aside from, if that's the only bloodline match, I'm genuinely curious to see. Like again, let's see how the bloodline acts without Roman. Because again, like you said, let's test the waters a little bit. Because again, should things go the way we think they're gonna go, this does justify what you and I and others like O'Shea Jack, for example, like we all felt that Roman should have still been champion to this day.
oh yeah, I mean like
And
there's
again,
really no ideas
depending
there.
on how Mania goes, whatever, again, this is only going to further prove his point that things never should have happened the way they happened. It's about the longevity of the game. It's not just about the flash in the pan moments. The moments are cool, but again, he's the first person that we've seen in a long time that's been able to maintain that same level, whether it be certain matches, whether it be building of the story, whether it be the merchandise, whether it be the TV ratings. He was holding it down on every category, not just here and there.
Yep.
Whereas, again, Cody and unfortunately Jay to a degree, because, again, Gunther is a specific talent. It's here and there. It's not all across the board. Because, again, how could Cody be number one, but Jay smoking him on like merchandise and other shit? Vice versa. There can only be one king of the mountain, and we know who that king is. And it's only
But
a
there are
matter of
two
time before he gets both
championships.
championships.
Yeah, I'm about to say that. There's two championships. That's why I like that
And that's why Cody can't
man.
say he's the undisputed champion because again, there's more than one championship. WWE had this problem about 20 years ago when you had the big gold belt and SmackDown had the undisputed championship. We tried this before. Yeah, it wasn't working. Here we are again. It still isn't working. The
I'm be
the
honest, I feel
long
like
reign,
they just don't know how to curate that shit. That's it. They they,
it's
they be
simple.
doing too
Don't
much.
call
Yeah.
one belt the undisputed championship. Problem solved.
I mean, it's like either call it that or not, but why even introduce the second one then? For all
Again,
that.
okay, hear me out. I'm glad you went that way. Think of it like I said before. Think of it like boxing. Boxing has multiple commissions. You could have still had the World Heavyweight Championship, and you could have still had the WWE Heavyweight Championship, and then assuming once NXT gets up to par, you could then have the NXT Heavyweight Championship. Just and instead of the three brands are like three different commissions. Same with TNA and Noah moving forward. WWE was now going to be a governing body. So now I'm glad we're going this because again, folks talked about how the indies are dead. No, the indies are just being reorganized and they're being reestablished. The only difference is, again, you now have WWE instead of as this monopoly, it can now act as a governing body. Because think about it, you have NXT and TNA essentially testing the waters as doing cross promotion stuff. Same with Noah. Once that gets more of reputation, I wouldn't be surprised if we see more NXT, TNA, and Noah mix-ups on WWE and or Raw and SmackDown. We're kind of seeing that with Roxanne Perez right now, almost as like the guinea pig for it.
Mm.
So in the next few years, again, like I said, it's not gonna be a monopoly. Again, it's just they're gonna be running so many different promotions, like shows, to where each show will ultimately get its own promotion.
But
And
that
again,
doesn't it still doesn't explain why they cross the storylines, have superstars showing up on both. Like it fucks everything up. I'm not saying everything has to be solely one
they're
brand, but they gotta
testing
do
the
better.
evolution of the business.
Yeah, you gotta do better building the superstars and talent so you ain't gotta
But
keep
but
using both.
but again, like I said, they're testing the waters with who they believe is going to be the future 10, 15 years from now. Which what they should be doing is experimenting with the folks that are there currently. I feel that would get the message across, like what we used to see with New Day and Dolph Ziggler go from the main roster to NXT. Do that on reverse. So maybe have, let's see. Well, again, that's the problem. Again, everyone in NXT is still very young. So unless you're having the main roster guys go down and experiment everything else, but that's fine. But again, you would want the future to experiment with, since again they're the ones that are going to be doing it moving forward. So once this takes off, for example, I use Roxanne as an example. She's going to be ultimately have that Charlotte Flair role to where someday the women's division is going to be hers. Get used to doing this, but also doing it on a different level, on a level bigger than what Charlotte was able to do. Like I said, you always want to be better than the person that you were yesterday. In this case, instead of Charlotte running two shows, Roxanne's potentially could be running anywhere from 3 to 5 shows. And again, WWE got a $5 billion bag for Netflix for these next few years. The next contract, which I assume would include Saudi, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear a number almost in like the 50 billion range. Because again, Saudi got that fuck you money. And if they get on board with Netflix again, we're talking 5 years from now. Again, we're talking 5 billion to 50 billion. That's a big chunk of change in difference.
Yeah.
But again, this is just the evolution of the business. Everyone, you're always working for the next contract, like they say. Same with any other major sport. But also, you at some point in time, you want to create a product that would be worthy of folks wanting to invest in you. And WWE's still trying to figure it out. So again, that 50 billion could maybe be 15 billion. But again, let's see where they go with it. But the way WWE's experimenting, that number is only going to go up. Because think about now, you have Raw, SmackDown, NXT. We're going to have Evolve in a couple weeks. You got the, I guess, do we call it a tough enough, whatever, in LFG? So that's 5 shows right now. Yeah, then you have TNA, 7 if you count Pro Wrestling Noah. $5 billion across 7 shows.
I don't know. I think they just need to do something like how, not for everybody, but CM Punk and Drew, they was able to work a program for half a year without even really having to see nobody else. And if Drew was in other matches, they were like, little whatever matches. But
Well, that's just the thing. How do we get everybody else to that level?
I mean, they just
That that
gotta
that that
curate it.
that that that's been the challenging part. But again, that would come down to folks just like we talked about,
Nah,
be more comfortable being themselves, and then
I don't
finding a
think
way
that's the
to get them
problem.
more reps.
I mean, Gable and Otis, they just never let them
Well,
marinate
well,
with
no,
that.
no, no. So let's take Gable for example. It's obvious they're seeing more utilization in Gable because he's a smaller guy. He can go work with most of the other guys. He's now going to do an excursion in Mexico. So again, he's part of that experiment program to where they're going to spread the bag. So again, they're using him for a higher purpose. They're using him for the actual future.
But then just have him win the match against Otis then, and make him look even stronger. Like,
Uh, Again, wins and losses don't matter. But again, they're using again.
I mean,
Folks are still gonna.
as a kid though,
Gable's
they
at a
do.
point to where
To us as
Gable.
adults, it don't matter. But we feeding this to kids, right? Like, there's kids
No,
that care
no,
about wins and
no,
losses.
no, no. But they're thinking from a business standpoint.
I mean, you see, that's the thing about wrestling that kills me when one day we could just justify how we do shit for the kids, then the business and this and
But
that.
but
It's the
but
back and
but
forth. Like,
but that's the thing. They got to point it to where certain characters are strictly for the kids, others are for the business standpoint, and then there's a select few that are right in the middle. And that would be your Cody Rhodes, the Jey Usos, the Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn's, like certain folks like that are you can move them around on both sides, and it ain't going to affect them. You can throw Gable in there now. They can do the serious and business stuff, and it's their stock is it's never gonna go down.
mm,
And again, not everyone can say they like that. Charlotte, you can maybe put her there, but again, or not Charlotte, Becky, you could put her there. You can have her do the goofy shit. It's not gonna nothing's gonna go down. You can have her be more serious. Nothing's gonna go down. It's only a select few that are like that. And again, those and they're trying to do that with Roxanne Perez. I would assume maybe they may try that with Ethan Page next, but we'll see. But again, only a certain few that you can do with both, which probably would determine how soon you get called up. Again, Braun, you could maybe they're kind of doing that with him now if you think about it. But again, still like certain folks can be in both categories. But as far as the business side with Gable, they see him as helping them make more money. Which again, I'm hopeful that may pay off him. So again, maybe he wins gold in Mexico and brings it over here on some cross promotional stuff. I know TNA tried that with New Japan back in the day, but maybe.
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like WWE backs themselves in the corner, just keep oversaturating having these same talent when you could build up. Again,
But
if you want somebody to take that step up, like we could have that United States, that Intercontinental Championship for newer superstars, the ones that are like on the brink, maybe an Andrade that been around for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Braun Breaker looking like he ready to take a step up. He's already been running through some of these heavyweight guys.
and do you know why I honestly feel like why the rest of the talent isn't much of a priority, except for a certain few individuals who they got to worry about to beat him on in a show. Their
Hmm.
third show is beating their competition's A show. They ain't got shit to worry about.
Yeah.
Now if Dynamite was doing something remotely close to what SmackDown's doing, because again, Raw has Netflix, so again, it's that you have that. But if Dynamite's matching SmackDown, maybe Triple H will try harder. But
Yeah,
again,
it's
as we saw on, excuse me, as we saw on a Grand Slam, they started with 1 million and they lost over 300,000 within the first 15 minutes. Like that show, what after the first half of that tag match with Omega and Osprey, everyone just said bye. No one cared. So why should, again, like we said, WWE, they make the most out of the bare minimum. They're going, why should we put everyone through strenuous work when we don't have to? We got enough in the bank. We can still pay folks that we feel are worth it handsomely, and then we're good. Now, if Dynamite picks some, get some steam, and they start pulling at least 1 million again, WWE might say, okay, SmackDown will do a little bit more. We got 3 hours there anyways.
Bando. What's the word, man?
But until that happens, or it may never happen, so what we see on Raw mainly, and even the cinematics on SmackDown, that's probably going to be what we're going to see on Netflix moving forward.
Mhm.
And this may be the new WWE.
Yeah, I gotta get in tune with that reality because I feel like okay, Vince has shown us he's into Super Cena. He's willing to let the baby faces get the wins over the heels, but he's also kept it very like balanced where you have Cena and Orton, babyface and heel going neck and neck for the titles. There was a time where Batista and Cena held the belts on both brands respectively. Like I just feel like right now Gunther
He has
hasn't been
Cena and
helping this
JBL.
case. Yeah, like Gunther hasn't been helping this case right now. Like, it's just tough. Like Seth had a more storied run. I feel like Gunther had the bigger looks. Feel like Seth was trying to
Has he
elevate
though?
that.
Has he though?
I mean, he had the rain. I mean, bigger looks for him.
Okay.
You know, if that makes sense to the folks in the chat. He's had more big
He
matches
had
for
his
him.
test against the upper echelon.
Yeah, Seth, he's a seasoned veteran, a champion. So
But
for
again,
him,
he he did what a champion should do, try to bring them to his level.
hmm
Gunther, he's had to dumb it down for everybody else. It, from the moment he won that belt, he should know. I'm getting the Goldberg run. Who's gonna stop me?
and I'm gonna be honest, this underdog win, like the way Drew McIntyre lost tonight to Jimmy, it was kind of shades of how he lost to Jay a few weeks ago. It's just like this is just the norm that I'm seeing. Like when we don't know how to really competitively let the underdog get it.
And Drew's another one to where I feel like whether it be the funny business or something serious, you're not really gonna really affect him that bad because again, he seems like he's got a special gear when he's in crash out mode, very similar to what Jey Uso has. To where again, when they're in that gear, it kind of reminds me of 0809 Randy, to where they're gonna do they're gonna cause as much trouble as they want. Bodies will be dropped, and you gotta sleep them to stop them. Jay hasn't been in that mode in a while. Hopefully, he's like that at towards WrestleMania. But I feel like until Roman, as Am is going to hate this, until Roman gives him the official acknowledgement or some type of approval and appreciation, Jay's going to keep that dormant because he's going to act for the people as opposed to riding for his family.
I'm gonna be honest, like I love Jimmy and all that, but he should not be having this type of a good match with Drew McIntyre. That's just my opinion. Like it's good on
You
him.
don't
It's
think
good for him, but that's
with
just wild.
with
Like,
as much time as he spent on the injured list, you don't think he deserves to see where he's if he's able to garner as much steam as his brother?
I mean, damn, bro. Like, come on, give him Shane. Like, who's
Drew
another
don't really need
heavy?
anything right now.
Who?
Drew don't really need anything right now.
I mean, my argument for
Let's see
Drew is
let's see what we got out of Big Jim.
nah facts. I felt that, but I felt like that could have waited to after the chamber, maybe. Going into the chamber, it's like it's kind of killing the allure of me saying like, oh, Drew's really a factor going. Like, bro, I'm watching him like lose
Again,
to a
with the
person that
setup
never even won a singles belt.
again with the setup for this men's chamber, they've made this blatantly obvious.
Mhm.
So again, with that already being out there in the open, let's see what we got out of Jey Uso. Let's see.
Out
Or
of
excuse
Jimmy.
Jimmy. Yeah, let's see if Jimmy can match what Jay's been doing while Jimmy's been out.
Nah, and again, look, they put Jimmy, Drew, and LA Knight in a triple threat match a few weeks ago, right?
Mhm.
We seen him hang. We like, I just don't. I'm there with you with the crash out thing, cause that do hold some merit for me. Like I do like seeing Drew on that time. So if it leads, but if it's just like we just gonna give him a loss to
That's when he's at his best.
yeah.
Let's be honest.
I guess I will have to see what happens next week. I mean, he did a little crash out tonight. He kind of whipped Jay out after the match and all that, but that's nothing new. Like that's we've seen Drew do this before.
The way I'm trying to look at it is like this is gonna be for Jimmy what Braun Breaker was for Jey Uso to get him to that level. And Drew's trying to get him, trying to get that out of him. Like you're supposed to be the entertaining one. People thought you were the better out of the two. Show me that person that they see in you.
Hmm. It's just I don't know. It was again a little weird because he started this program thing with, or he started this go around trying to take out the bloodline. I don't know if he's still on that. I guess it's WrestleMania season, so he abandoned that for now. He's just trying to get,
Well,
I get it, to get the goal right
he's
now.
always said it's basically like a fur life thing. Anytime he sees the bloodline, it's on site.
Yup.
So there's just no ducking that. Much like how Drew feels about Punk, it's never gonna end until he says it's over.
Yeah, so he got his. If this was a video game, you'll have those guys in the rivalry box for him right there. The bloodline and Punk. That's the top. That's the top rivalry right there.
Drew versus Punk, Drew versus Bloodline, both of them max stars.
I do say this about the match though. I enjoyed. I remember on Monday, I was saying I didn't like them starting off with Sami Zayn. How I wish they started off with a match. So I am happy about that. How the pace of Friday Night SmackDown started off tonight. I do enjoy they got into the
Now
action.
again, now we still got a promo segment, but it was more of a quick get in, get out backstage segment, not a 15-minute in the ring. I
Hmm.
want this,
Right.
man.
Drawn out. Nah. None of that. I mean, how'd you? I guess like you touched on, it was a good look for Jim. So I think you on point with it was a good match for you. Is that accurate to say right there? It was a good match. Or you feel like it could have been better?
I feel they're still building it. So again, this could maybe be a Mania match.
I'm not gonna lie. He hit him with I don't know what the hell if it was a claymore or what the hell he hit Jim with like early on in the match, but yo, Drew like he's good with them explosive moves. He always has been. But yeah,
And
whew,
I could see this maybe being like maybe a tables match or something like that at Mania,
mm, switch it up.
and have Jimmy go over,
But this is funny.
and then maybe have something on the lines of assuming Shinsuke is still U.S. champ by then, maybe that could be a match for Backlash in Mexico, and then let's see if Jim Uso over Shinsuke could be something. Let's that again that could be a plan maybe after Drew.
It could be. I mean, honestly, it looked like Drew kind of took care of Jimmy. We'll see Jimmy next week, but man, he took care of him.
Yeah, but like I said, you got 2 nights to plan for Mania,
Yep.
so plenty of matches to go around. And again, if this is one of them, you got my attention.
We got word on social media that they was gonna pivot from the said 6-man match, which would have been Braun Strowman, Damian Priest, and Cody Rhodes versus uh Tamatonga
Jacob and
Jacob.
Solo.
Yep. So then we see Solo arriving to the arena after this match right here. See him
Oh,
donning.
whoa! Before we get to that, let's talk about the segment that happened before the match, which was Cody finding out or trying to address Nick Aldis as to why am I out of the match,
Mm-hmm. That's right.
and Aldis tells him this is above both of us.
Man, if you could
And
smell
then he
what I'm
goes, "What do you
cooking.
mean? Who do I gotta talk to?" And he goes, "You don't understand what I'm saying." The final boss says you're out of the match.
Man, bro, it was
Oh, they done took him out. He didn't mean it. What he was saying, he didn't mean it. He was just playing. It happens. He didn't do it on purpose.
nah. That damn back button on my mouse got me. I was trying to read through the comments over here.
No, but again, like all the tells him, hey, the final boss wants to have a word with you today when he gets here. And the look on Cody's face was, oh shit, what the fuck's going on? To where I believe no, it was well, I'll get to that in a second. But again, as we talked about after the match, we then get what was after the Jimmy match?
That's when we started to get Solo arriving to the. They showed us little
That's right.
highlights of the triple threat match from last week between Priest, Strowman, and Jacob.
Yeah. Which then we a vehicle pulls up, and immediately folks thought it was Rock already, and it
Hmm.
being Solo. And he ditched the all white, which you kind of approved of that.
Yeah, man. It was funny to see him in the all white car. I felt like he was just. It was obvious he was doing something different. We see him in the burgundy again tonight. Still not wearing the colors he was wearing previous.
He ain't in bloodline colors. That's all we know.
Correct.
And who meets him at the gate? Tamatonga and Jacob. And Solo's pleading his case like, hey, Tama, that was an accident. And
Man, what he
Jacob dogs
told
him
him.
out and says, oh, we know it was an accident because if it wasn't, you wouldn't be standing here right now.
Yo, Solo's reaction to that.
It was beautiful.
Well, I guess we all on the same page.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, he entered cock off mode.
Yeah. He on he is
Hmm.
an amazing smartass. Him and
Bro,
Dom got it down perfectly.
when he do that shit, then he just tense up. He just do like a little shoulder thing, like, well, since we all on the same page here, I'm like, man.
But no, but
So,
again, like you said, like I'm guessing he didn't get the memo of the match that was going on, and he said, "Hey, I'm gonna be in the corner of you and Thomas match," and he goes, "Oh no, we've been running shit over here. I'm saying me and you gonna be out there."
we gonna run the play tonight. Mm. Then Solo tells him, see that right there, Jacob? That's why I love you.
I love you, Jacob. Salud.
Mm. Now, at that point, Solo says he's gonna go talk to Nick Aldis to get it done. I mean, was there a need
Well,
for?
again, Solo, did you not check your text messages? Not check your phone? We know you plotting something. You ain't slick, motherfucker. Like what you what you trying to get into?
And I really feel like, okay, so he gotta know it's disrespectful to throw that in Jacob's face. Like he's taunting him with it, like, I love you, Jacob. Like, and he not even saying it like it don't even feel genuine after he just abandoned them.
I can smell the bullshit as far as I can throw you.
And even down to the point where he kind of touches Tamatunga's chest on the way out, like, I'm gonna go talk to Nick Aldis and get it done. And he kind of just looked at him
Like, fuck you doing?
like you see the whole vibe shift. They're not. It's obvious they're not fucking with Solo, but it could have not been more obvious. Like the vibe has shifted, and listen, I don't know what Solo got up his sleeve. He definitely don't seem bothered by the antics.
Could you imagine if Tamatonga and Tongaloa turn on Jacob?
Mm. I mean, that's the part that I'm trying to understand too. Like,
Because again, Tamatonga, he's a soldier.
and I'm trying to see where his loyalty lays because Solo brought him in, as he brought in Jacob.
But again, who brought him in?
Could have been a higher source.
But again, he first came out with Solo.
Mm-hmm.
Solo could tell him, "Hey, I brought you here. You still
Got
ride
your
with me or
brother
what?"
here.
Like I didn't mean to do that to you. Like again, like he kind of got you in that situation. He got you doing this bullshit for him. Like,
Mm-hmm.
does he got Joe back for it too or what?
We.
But that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna touch more on that match later on. We get back from the commercial break. They show us a little hype reel for the Elimination Chamber, showing us the participants. Then they also showed us some footage from earlier tonight with Carmelo Hayes, R-Truth. I thought it was pretty funny. I'm gonna be honest.
Our
It's
truth is
like
a fucking national treasure.
I I
But that
did
was the
think it
only
was
part I learned
random,
about the segment, dude.
man. The whole Louisiana. Well, you could tell, but like, man,
So our truth tells me, "Hey, me against you, first time ever." I was like, "What you talking about? We roasted last week." Huh, him, I'm him. Going back and forth per usual. Then comes the Miz of all people, talking about a new tag team amongst Friday Night SmackDown. And I'm telling you right now, I need this T-shirt. I don't care how corny it looks. I need this T-shirt, and that is the T-shirt of the new team known as Mellow Don't Miz. I need it.
it's sad to say, but the Miz and Melo really might be on to something. Their finishing move at the end.
But again, I feel that Miz and Truth are helping Mello get more comfortable being himself.
Oh yeah, I could dig that. Cause Melo need a string of some success.
He need to loosen up a bit. Like and then once we get by this, then we're gonna see Melo grow. But yeah, like this is probably the best thing for him. And like I said, that finish or whatever, smooth. Folks forget Mike the Miz Mizanin. Don't sleep on the kid.
Bro, they've only been together for one match and already got a finishing tag team move. That's
Again,
elite shit right
but
there.
but but again, the folks be sleeping on the Miz.
Man.
He can rise some plays up. And then you go R Truth. But then again, let's go to the attachment real quick. R Truth said he got a Louisiana legend. And I damn near text you saying, who the fuck do we know that's from Louisiana? So R
Bro,
Truth comes out. whatever,
Um,
which is fine, whatever. So he mentions excuse me, a Louisiana legend, and the Louisiana legend was none other than Louisiana Knight. And for those who may not know, the abbreviation for Louisiana is LA. Our truth, you innocent fuck.
bro, if it was somebody, if it like,
If it was anybody else, if it was anybody else but our truth, we would have shouted them. Because it's our truth, we know how funny this man is. We have to give it a pass. Our truth, I love you.
the one I feel bad for is LA Knight to get sucked vacuumed
Honestly,
into
I
that
think
shit.
again he's this might again he maybe again like I said earlier with certain folks testing the waters from serious to funny. He's another one they're probably testing with because again he does good merchandise, he does good ratings. Yes, he may not reach the promised land, but again he can still generate a good amount of revenue. And he could be on that experimental list as well because again I thought he played this beautifully. Like once we hear Louisiana Night and they know how to play LNS music, and he's looking at him like, huh? And then you had what was it, Barris saying, he's from Maryland. He's from Maryland.
Bro, killed the whole gimmick.
But again,
Killed the
but
whole gimmick.
no, again, you're playing into truth because again, aside from that, he's called Tommaso Ciampa Triple H. He's called Triple H Tommaso Ciampa. He's called Gargano
But
Shawn
damn it,
Michaels and
Barrett.
vice
He didn't
versa.
have to say Maryland. Jesus, Barrett.
The, the why not?
Man, it just kills the credibility. Like, why? The LA
What
Knight
where do they got
shit.
him built from?
LA.
They do.
Yeah, because one time he got mad at Samantha Irvin for not mentioning that he was from Los Angeles. She had said that on some interview.
Really? I'm
Yeah,
about to, folks. I got some homework to do.
man.
I thought I honestly I thought it was Vegas or something to be honest.
I think that's where they had built him from earlier,
Oh, no,
earlier on.
they got Cross from Vegas. That's what it is.
Yeah, and wow, Cross from Vegas. That's weird.
Well, Sin City,
Hmm.
but still, yeah. But I thought that was funny. Also, I think they got Miz and LA Knight in something right now, or they're trying to get something started. Which again, I'm still entertained by it. It's gonna be fun to watch.
Well, I mean, they did say tonight that LA Knight's the number one contender again to the United States
For Shinsuke?
Championship. Yeah, that shit he
Oh, so
beat
the
the Miz.
I
Yeah,
must have I must have missed that because I know we talked about this on Raw, like if they made it official, and I guess it's official now.
yep.
Um,
Which I'm kind of dying for the. Like I like the United States Championship, but with there now being a women's United States Championship, I think this would be a cool time to like rebrand the men's United States into like we spoke about before, the heavyweight, the Japanese heavyweight
well,
world,
the light
whatever.
heavyweight,
Yeah, the light heavyweight European Championship. Like it's a
but again, the problem with that is you got to put a weight limit on there. You don't think Ellen that's gonna make that weight limit,
I mean, that's why I would go more down either the European or the like Japanese.
or hear me out. What if you just kill that belt outright and incorporate the speed title?
That could be risky.
I think it could work because
I mean,
I mean, you can still, or you okay, you incorporate the cruiserweight division again, or light heavyweight, and you also bring in the speed championship.
I just hate to say this, bro. I really do hate to say this. Nobody's really been able to do nothing with the United States Championship, and the last person that made it actually like somewhat noticeable was Logan Paul, bro. Cause I
That's
did used
but here, but again,
like.
to the argument. Aside from Logan Paul, who was the last person to actually make it relevant?
That's what I'm saying. Like it's been tough for that championship.
The
Bobby
last two
Lashley to
names I
me
could
when
think
he
of are
made
KO and Cena.
for me is Lashley because he changed the belt design. But yeah, prior to that, I mean, well, Austin Theory,
I mean, yeah, so there have been names, but
but they haven't been good runs. Like you said, that Cena run when Kevin Owens came up, that was a lightning in a bottle moment. Like who can they bring up from NXT right now that'll shake the room if Shinsuke say, yeah, I just want to. Maybe Obafemi, that'll be it. Maybe Obafemi, because we go, oh,
but here's the thing:
whoa.
Obafemi is going after the TNA X Division Championship,
Yeah, I mean, he got his hands tied right now. Understood.
and whenever that match happens, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not seen a match with Moose, especially with someone like Obafemi, this match is going to be a treat.
Mm, yeah, I mean, like
But
you
but
said,
again, with the U.S.
Cena.
Championship, I mean, again,
mm,
say Shinsuke gets past LA Knight, what if at WrestleMania we get Shinsuke versus Big Jim? Could be a thing.
We're not gonna get Randy Orton at this. Like, he's really out, or do he come back at Elimination Chamber? The but
Again, maybe it's Brandy and KO,
right
and
because he might come back
at the
and
Mania.
fuck Kevin Owens up at Chamber and the unsanctioned shit
Mm-hmm.
type shit. I don't know. My
And
mind
and
just
and
went off
again,
to like
Randy and KO Mania would be fun to watch. Like I
it is
said,
because there's
think about it across both shows. That's 6 to 8 hours you got to fill.
that's answering Punk Drew territories right there. Owens and Randy.
Um, it could have been, but no, not even close. Unfortunately,
Okay.
yeah, no. What Punk and Drew were able to do was something that we hadn't seen since Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and how long ago was that? Exactly.
Mm,
Not so. It's rare when we've seen something like that. Not saying we can't still get there, but it's very early in that right now.
mm-hmm. It'll take some convincing. Okay, okay. What else we had tonight? We got over the match. No, we didn't. Did we get to the finish of the match?
Was it at this time where we got that very interesting Charlotte promo, the vignette?
Um, yes.
How to about her vignette?
I mean, Charlotte's the ultimate. Like, she's one that when I feel like, 'cause I told you this off the air, I'm kind of getting like, oh, with the women's division, like I feel like, but she does her job. Like when I watch a vignette, when I watch her in the ring, there's no doubt that she's running laps, and she's been running laps.
And like we said off air, you aside from Charlotte Flair, and you can also make case for Tiffany Stratton, Liv Morgan if she's going to be on SmackDown regularly, and Bianca. Who else is on equal footing?
I mean, they've
Nia is
done their
you
best.
yeah
Yeah,
yes
Naya, but
maybe Nia, but again she's calmed down significantly. But what's ruining Nia is Candice LeRae. I'm
what
gonna
I
say it
say
right
about
now.
Naya too, I'm gonna be honest, 'cause I've been praising her in-ring work. What I want to see less from her is her stop being so giving. Like I get she want to put people over, but jumping ridiculously to sell. I don't know what move that was that Tiffany Stratton was doing to her last week in their match, like a spine buster of some sorts, when she was just picking up Nia Jackson, like that. She's
Well, no,
being too
no,
like
that part was fine, but
it was
I
too much
mean,
for me personally. I was just like, we don't need to do like Nia, you just
I
doing
think
too much.
maybe
Like
if it's used more sparingly.
I mean, I feel like y'all trying to sell me on like Tiffy being a powerhouse. I don't
Well,
look
but
at her like
again,
that.
think about it. She's athletic. She's fairly strong. I mean, think about it. I mean, they
At,
want more. They want more Jade Bianca's and Rhea Ripley's
And then
Tiffany, you
this
can
week
make
she
her
looked
similar like
weak.
that, and again, that's fine.
And then this week they had to look weak. Trish comes out to help her. She just watched Trish get beat up,
Well, they're
gets
trying again. Here's my
flattened.
problem. They're trying to build that tag match for the Chamber, but what I was talking about, what I was going to get to with Nia was Candice. I feel is holding her back because she can't again. Candice LeRae doesn't fill that void that Nia's past partners have had. One special one in particular was her pairing with Alexa Bliss, and those are shoes that Candice just can't fill. And until we break them up, I mean, Nia is just only going to suffer from what Candice does.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Candice LeRae, I don't really, I don't need to see her wrestle out there. Not to be fucked up, but like, nothing she's doing is really like, say, like before I used to be like, oh yeah, nah, she could go in the ring. Right now, it's kind of like you're full guy. I don't really expect much when I see a match with her, and it like
I don't want to see her. Also, I don't want to see her as the fall girl. But I mean,
and
separate her
that's what
from
she's
Nia.
been since this
Maybe
heel
have her
turn.
challenge. Maybe have her go out, meet her, some whatever, get her in contention in that roulette for the women's U.S. Championship instead, or maybe have her challenge Lara on Raw, something,
And it's kind
or
of
maybe
weird
even
now too.
or maybe NXT. You can't frown at NXT anymore either. A lot of the girls there are kind of her size, anyways.
Like it made more sense if she was trying to help. Like I guess she's trying to help Nia Jax win the title back, but like Nia already lost it, so why you still lurking? It's kind of like weird.
And again, like I said there's spots where she could benefit more, in my opinion.
And I feel like they could quietly separate them, and we won't get upset. Like y'all could
Or
quiet like move them
even
away. Like
or just have Nat clothesline her one time and walk away. Problem solved. You don't gotta do a whole lot to break them up.
this, yeah.
Again, like I said, you could even just do a simple backstage promo segment and just end it right there, and then just walk away. There's no point.
And
Just
I
let them
think
do their own
that
thing.
this is what I'm afraid of for Tiffy. I mean, well, yeah, for Tiffy to be honest, that I think they're attempting to make her look so strong right now with the Nia Jax stuff. She might come up short at Mania. Like
But again, I understand that concern, but also again, in the same breath, that's the only way you can see if there's anything between her and Charlotte. Because again, Charlotte is the benchmark. If the powers that be don't see that she can at least hold her own against Charlotte, then what business does she have at the top?
I'm not gonna lie, being in a match with Candice LeRae and that not being a good match doesn't help.
Well, no,
Like,
like I said, the sole purpose of this match is for next Saturday. That's it, nothing else.
hmm
And the PLE will be the test because again, she's going to be with Trish. So the spot between now and then, it's kind of nothing.
yeah,
If
like
anything, it's just to see if you can build any, if she, her acting the way she is, if it can build any steam going into the match.
I'm not gonna lie, this shit it built nothing for me to be honest. It's cool to see Trish out there. That's about it. Like they could have had her in a match or anybody. I'd have been cool with it.
Honestly, if Charlotte wasn't on commentary, I would have changed the channel.
Mm.
And again, it's nothing against Tiffany. It's just like to your argument. If you want to build her up as being a noble competitor, you have her against. This is when you should have had the rematch with her and Nia for the championship. This right here is when it should have happened. Or you have her against Chelsea in a champ versus champion, or whatever, something like that. Some big thing. Her versus Bailey. Maybe you have Becky return or something and have her win because Becky doesn't need a win right now. Something like that would have added more significance to her versus Charlotte. And then if you want to have Nia interfere or whatever, and then Trish come out and everything happens, different story. But here we are.
Yeah,
Let's see what next Friday does.
hmm. And that's the to me the weird part of having Tiffany as like a tweener in my eyes, because I feel like they're
Well, like
positioning
I
her to
said,
babyface.
she's garnered this much steam already. Let's see
What's up,
how
June?
she
I see you
handles
out
it.
there. Yeah, we definitely gotta see how she plays it out,
So,
because
like I
I feel
said,
like
the ball's in her court, and it's just are you able to adapt or not? And again, there's no real wrong answer because she's still very young. But if you can hang again, let's don't be afraid. Don't feel discouraged. Just build each week.
yeah they could have been putting her
And
in the ring with
because
better
think about
people
it,
though.
you have from now until WrestleMania to start putting some work. And so again, you have time to just chip away at shit.
Yeah,
Let's see what we have next.
I think we had got Cody and Priest backstage
Yeah, in a very awkward segment between them two.
again. I don't know why Damian Priest is a babyface. Like I really don't feel like the crowd is behind him in a babyface. Like they cheer for him because he's a good
Instead of
guy,
him show up
man.
in a hoodie, I would have him just pulled up with just like dark jeans and boots and a leather jacket, like looking like a badass.
Yeah, man. His presentation is just all over the place to me, to be honest. Like he still got the remnants of the Judgment Day music, the lights, the
Just call it what it is. He got that stank on him still.
yeah. And it makes me question, like, can you evolve? Like, have you
Is this
stopped
it?
evolve? Yeah, like, cause your gear pretty much been the same your whole. It's not like you gotta change the gear, but I'm just saying, like, kind of what it you were saying, black, all black. Like, can we get some badassery? Some like, okay, the red was cool, the purple was cool, but like maybe it's time to just go badass. Like, I was looking at his entrance to like later on in the night, and I was like, the little flames. Yeah, he could go. He could throw that away. Yeah, you could throw that away. Like you know what I mean? You're not Kane. That fits for somebody like Kane. Okay, I get it. Back in the Judgment Day, y'all was on y'all time, and okay, now you not.
But then after this, we got Joe Destor doing an update of the Sammy and Kevin Owens back and forth,
Mm,
and they touched on Sammy's response setting up for the unsanctioned match, and then they played a video that Kevin Owens had uploaded a few hours earlier.
mm. That gave me vibes right there.
He
Oof.
on that goblin time. If there was
Different,
a
but
if there
reminiscent. Mm-hmm.
if there was a now now again, had this been WWE about 10 plus 15 years ago, this seemed very close to Triple H breaking into Randy Orton's house.
Yep.
And I was hoping for something like that to happen. But before I get to that, Sam or Kevin Owens, excuse me, is cutting a very emphatic promo saying, "So this is what you want. You want this match. You want to hurt me, and you want to end my career. You want to essentially hurt my family. I can't ever forgive you for that. Like You're supposed to be my friend. You want to wish harm upon me. Why would you want to do this to me? You want us to go through that, get down that road again to where we try to kill each other. You want this. Okay, but again, you got no one to blame for yourself. But also, what would your family think? And we
Mm.
see the camera turn ever so slightly to his left. First, we see his wife and his son. Then we see Sami Zayn. So it's just a little family evening. Just a casual night. What were your thoughts on that visual?
Dog, I was like, this is so cold right here, because again, like you said, Randy Orton, Triple H. With how Kevin's Owens is, I was like, hell, it could have even went down the Austin Pillman route. Like they could have
It very
really,
much could have.
they could like, man, I was just like, but even that visual in 2025 was cool because it left more to be desired a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like,
It was
wow,
just enough to where it was satisfying, but we still had a room for a little bit more if you wanted to go
yeah,
the extra mile. Like,
yeah.
and again, like that, this match, assuming it goes after the men's chamber, could very well be similar to one of my personal favorites of the Black and Gold era, which was Gargano Ciampa 2.
Mm.
Some prefer part 1. I actually preferred part 2. But this reminds me of that. And again, if you guys have a chance, watch that match. I can't recall which takeover it was from, but it was definitely before the pandemic. It was a while ago. But again, that that's going to be something.
It's gonna be crazy. Ooh, whiskeys. What else? We
I
had.
think after this, we were told that, or we then saw a visual of the outside gate. We see a blacked out Ford Raptor coming hot, and
Mm.
Wade and Joe Tess are going, there's only one man that drives a truck like that. Finally, we are getting or finally the final boss has arrived into the venue. So we are told that coming up next will be the final boss.
Again, like we touched on earlier, I lost my shit. I was like, oh yeah, it's time. And again, I feel like we didn't get much, but we got enough. We got something. It took the Rock, it took the final boss to gear us up into with no disrespect to Jay Uso. It's more on Gunther's behalf there, but it took the final boss to gear us up right here. Once again, 2 years in a row. And I'm gonna be
And he
honest, we would have been here on another Friday if he didn't do this. Announce his appearance and come out. I think with this show, we may have very well said, "What the fuck are we doing with the road to WrestleMania?"
honestly, the episode probably would have been done by now.
Man, for real, because the
but
rest
but
of this
but
show
once
didn't
again,
really go crazy.
thank you to the Queen Charlotte Flair. Thank you to the final boss, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. To those of you in the internet universe, I don't want to hear a goddamn thing slanderous about either one of them ever again. These two officially got us kickstarted onto the road to WrestleMania. And in the words of Dave Bender Rodriguez, y'all can bite my shiny metal ass.
Man, whew. Again, it was a little bit of a long-winded promo from The Rock, but it was more methodical than we usually get. He was sending his jabs, but I feel
You
like he was
slapped
taking us on
me.
a ride. Yeah, he was taking us on a ride right there.
And again, a ride that only The Rock has the ability to take us on. And again, much like with the R-Truth funny business earlier, with what The Rock did today, only he could have done what he done today. No one else would have done it justice. And again, that's no fault to them. It's just The Rock is on the level that he is for a reason. Much like in the comedic side, R-Truth is on the level that he is because that's the level that he created. He set the bar wherever he chose fit, and to where whatever he does, it's going to be absolutely entertaining.
And I'm
So
not gonna lie, it sounds like what's even crazier because I feel like we've been watching The Rock his content for a long time. It sound like right now he's freestyling. Like that's the
and,
crazier part. Like he on
and,
some
and it's
Jay Z
and he's
shit.
always top, and somehow he's top. He's finding a way to top himself from the year before.
For real, like, cause I gotta accept that too. I'm like, I'm expecting him to be more aggressive. Like when we were introduced to the final boss, we got an aggressive tone, a real aggressive tone. Like he was being real crazy. Now this time around, he's showing
He's
us like
evolved
it's
it.
still, yeah, it's still there, but you gotta wait for it. You don't know when it's gonna appear, and that's scary.
So again, who knows how many stages of evolution this final boss has? We're potentially we're on final boss 2.0. We could see 10 of them for all we know. Could be more.
Mm.
So again, for those that say he ain't doing nothing or they want him gone, no, bring more. So that way, the future can learn from the best. This is how it's done. You want to learn the art of selling out any venue in any part of the world? Watch and learn.
When are we gonna say like? To be honest, because I just thought about this in my head, like the folks out there gotta understand. We always want to, give flowers to the people that work hard. Say, yo, this person, we can't have the part timers come back. But like, nobody working harder than The Rock right now, than
There,
Triple H to put this
there's a
business where
reason
it's at.
why the part timers come back is because the current generation needs the assistance.
Like,
That's all. That's always been the formula. That's always been the reason. It's always been the formula. It's like Cena said in 2015 to Roman Reigns, "I'm still here because you can't do your job." And what he meant
yeah,
by that
bro.
is, let me show you how it's done, so I can ride off into the sunset.
And sometimes people think they ready for some kind of drastic change, and then it's like it's not really what it is. Like for me, I'm gonna use an example. Like people wanted the Avengers to change. I know there's more contractual stuff, but like there was conversations. Oh, they could go away with these Avengers. And then it happened. You switch some characters around. Then people were like, "Oh wait, hold on." Then like you bringing people back because you seen who the top dogs really were. I'm seeing
Yep.
something similar. Like it's like you know who's but it's okay to give people shots. We gonna give y'all shots, but it be the outcry sometimes. Like
Like I said, for the future, your time will come. But again, let the present and the past show you how it's done. So when your time has come, you can run this business longer than they did, and then the future that passes you will run it longer than you did, and you keep the cycle going. You're constantly growing.
for real though, cause I know, trust me, we all competitive in whatever lane of it is that we doing in our industries, and it must be a tough pill to swallow when you feel you deserving of something immediately, and you basically being told to hold it down. I can understand those difficulties, but
But again,
sometimes it might be the
but
best
look at
option.
today's day and age. In today's day and age, everything is a business, so you always want to work towards that next contract.
Yeah,
So how else can you work on that contract if you ain't trying to work on selling out a venue anywhere in the world?
and
Like,
ultimately, I'm what's best for business too. Like
and
if
and
that means
and
he's
how
there
can
for
you
a
prove
night or
your
two,
best for
come on.
business if you ain't at least selling out a house?
And
How can you prove your best business if we can't prove you making money for the business?
correct. And the fans, like, to cry, oh, this person match got cut. Unless somebody got the real, like, the real. I mean, I'm gonna just take these as reports. Like I'm not taking and again, things change all the time. Whether The Rock came through or not, I'm pretty sure there was many matches that were cut before him coming tonight. Like there was matches. I'm pretty. What happened to Pence's debut on Netflix? Did it happen on like? Come on, man. Like now, The Rock showed up on that day too. But I'm just saying, we don't. Ain't nobody say nothing then. It's like, come on, picking and choosing when you want to say shit, when you want to, what movements y'all want to lead and stuff like that. I get it. I want everybody to shine.
But you can't always have that because again, you worry about people getting overshadowed.
Hmm. Yeah, I want everybody. If you meant to be in the mid card, then do your best. Like again, we said Gable, he's on an excursion. He's did the best with whatever he was fucking given, and all of
Hmm.
them people that worked with him in that time period, the Otises, the Tazawas, the Gunthers, the Sammy, like that whole little
The
hub.
Uncle Howdy's.
Yeah, Y6, like the Creed brothers and the Ivy Now, they that whole little aura around. Everybody had an aura around that bracket. They all moved on to do special shit, still doing shit.
And now Gable's being rewarded by being allowed a rare excursion onto a promotion that I don't think they've ever had a relationship with because of Vince.
Man, we seeing what it's doing for Josh Briggs in NXT. He's able to bring his
Him, Josh
Noah
versus Tavion
teammate.
Heights.
Yeah, be able to bring his teammate from Japan over. You know what I mean? So
No, it wasn't his teammate. It was the dude that he had like the most violent match with.
and end up becoming his teammate in NXT,
Yeah.
right? Yep.
Again, for those
That respect for each other.
watch last year's N1 tournament when they had a match. It was amazing.
Man,
But
so
after
it's
this, we
mhm.
then got our main event, and once again we got a phenomenal promo by Jacob walking out of the ring.
Yo, his realism is like, I'm gonna be honest, he's like, if you're not gonna be that level of real, you gotta be a character or like kind
Hmm.
of like over the top or something, cause it just don't make like I hate to beat Damian Priest down, but like bro, that backstage segment with Braun Strowman was kind of like he threw a
It was
shot at
both.
Drew McIntyre, which I feel like they're fucking the reports are
If
true, they're
I
gonna
was
have a
Braun at
reunion
that
match.
moment, I would have backhanded the fuck out of Priest, saying, "Who the fuck you talking to like that?"
Right. And then that's another thing. They got Braun Strowman, which I've been high on since forever, since the Wyatt days, like since the
Hmm.
Wyatt family. Like I've been high on that. I don't even understand why he lost in a swamp match. Yeah, we love Bray, rest not gonna talk about but like swamp match type shit. Like you feel me? Like, come on, bro. It was just like I felt like Vince didn't fuck with Braun. Like he probably thought like, yeah, this is a big guy, and then just kind of like got done with that project immediately. Like,
Like anything, he got bored with it.
yep, got bored with him real fast, and like, yeah, it's been downhill since. We've seen him cut his hair, get released, come back with colorful pants as a bit like, hey, fuck it, man. I mean, now this is the best. I feel like Monster, like one big son of a bitch. That's what he is. That's how he should be presented. No jokes for him.
The monitor still says "monster of all monsters," not
Yeah, I
one
just
big sob.
yeah, they're I don't know. They just didn't update
Like I
him, right?
said
Like
many times, attention to detail.
I be trying to ignore that shit because it's
Nah,
like
fuck that. Attention to detail. It's not that hard. You got everyone and their fucking mother saying it.
for real. I mean like
For those with earbuds, I apologize. It needed to be known.
bro, he
I'm
used
good
to
now.
tell people you gonna get these hands. Like he really was
Thank
on some
you.
shit, bro. He was on some shit. Like I don't
He was on some bullshit that was working. Why did he go? Why didn't he go back to get these hands?
yeah, I don't know. Got him as like almost like the Big Show, dare I say, like the Gentle Giant, the one that's like friendly and like willing to fight other
No,
people's battles.
I think he's worse. I think he's on that Great Khali standard right now.
Fuck.
I said it.
That's I
He's on
mean,
that Punjabi playboy status.
At least he move a little bit better than him though, man.
Yeah. Oh, Greg Khali moving pretty good on from what I see on TikTok lately.
Like, man,
I see him hit a couple burpees, so he moving.
Caesar, Nick Aldis at some point and Chelsea Green had their backstage segment. They
Oh, this was
announced,
amazing. This
yeah,
was amazing. And again, I said Charlotte and The Rock saved the show. The other MVP for tonight was our United States champion, the longest reigning, the tallest, shortest. There's
oldest,
in
youngest.
Q about 30 other things, but again, she is the greatest women's United States champion of all time right now. And as Santino Miller will say, of all of time and space, she is her, Miss Chelsea Green.
Hmm. She was happily ready to offer her services and replace Naomi and Bianca in the Elimination Chamber
Her,
with Honey
her, and
Piper.
her
A detail
security
service.
of whatever. There's a very funny name. I forgot the name. My apologies, but again, she is her and Piper Niven to replace Bianca and Naomi because in the matchup that should have been Liv Morgan versus Naomi ended up being a no contest. So they get the pause put on them. Nick Aldis then first addresses Liv Morgan and Raquel. Says, "Hey, this is SmackDown. You can't do that." Blah blah blah. They laughed at his motherfucking face.
Which again, I thought it was a good reaction for them, but it felt
Well,
very
well,
high schoolish a little bit.
this is how what I took it. This was a a straight up middle finger directly to the face of Adam Pierce because they're showing on that on SmackDown what they get away with on Raw, and it's like, bruh.
Type shit.
But then came Chelsea Green and her eminent grace, blessing our television screens with her wisdom, claiming that she would be next in line, that her and Piper would be in the match in the chamber. They are prepared to go to battle. Nick Aldis says they're fine.
And they'll be in the match. What I thought was interesting, he said Chelsea will be in action next week, but on Friday SmackDown.
Talk to him.
And I believe he kind of teased with like a Toronto native. Did it feel like? Do you think we probably get Trish versus? What if Trish wins that damn? I don't think they'll put that on the
Did
line, but
Aldis
like,
say the belt was on the line?
nah, I don't believe he said that. So I could see Trish having a tune-up match the night before, maybe to get, but
It could be Trish, but again, I know she's not from Toronto. But what about Natty?
okay, all right.
I know Calgary is not in Toronto, but again, like you want to get another. If you want to think about another Canadian, you throw her in there, and those two would have a fun match for the most part.
Is Mia Yim from Canada?
Nah, she's from LA.
Okay. 'Cause I'm trying to. I feel like they teasing like a Canadian draw there. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm playing too much into it, but yeah, we get announced Chelsea Green match for next week. Think it should be fun. Then then after that we get the final boss in the ring. If you want to touch on that,
Well, I mean, we let's see.
we can.
Oh, hold the phone. Now, I I just happened to Google female Canadian wrestlers, and I seen a couple names that kind of came to mind that as far as a topic that I mentioned earlier of experimenting with cross promotional things. Um, Now I wasn't specific based on Toronto wrestlers, but more so Canadian wrestlers. Could you imagine if next week we get? Chelsea Green versus one of the following. And these are women currently contracted with TNA. You have Rosemary. You have arguably, in my opinion, the greatest women's wrestler of all time, Gail Kim.
Mm.
You also have TNA original, TNA Knockout original, Angelina Love. You also have, now again, I don't know if she's been in the ring lately or not, but just maybe, you also have Maurice. And an honorable mention would be, well, two honorable mentions. One of them would be Rosemary.
I like the Gil Kim.
And then the final one, which, again, these are least likely, but you have Rosa Mendez. Yo, Taya is also from Canada, but she's currently contracted to AEW. But again, that would have been a fun one.
Mm.
So there are Canadian names. Um, it'll probably likely be Natty or like you said, Trish. If it's on the other aforementioned names, I would be happily surprised.
I mean, that shit would elevate. I think that scene, like they'll definitely be doing something there if they put Trish around that United States Championship. Not that she needs to be there, but I'm just saying, like, just a little Canadian rivalry right there. More than what they doing with the IC women's belt.
I wouldn't take the belt off of Chelsea until at least either Survivor Series or next year's Mania.
Yeah.
You maybe until next year's Mania, yeah, keep the belt on Chelsea.
Your boys.
But then I think we have the main event after this.
Your boys, the Yes Boys.
Say it like you mean it, and excuse me.
I can't. It hurts.
Yes, boy. But again, we got a very interesting promo by DIY. Um, how do you feel about that abbreviation that Gargano's trying to get off?
But I ain't gonna
The
lie.
the BTTITW, the best tag team in the world. I believe FTR is trying to do the same hashtag.
I'm gonna be honest. As soon as DIY music hit, I got up and went to my kitchen, bro. I'm
Hey,
gonna be
hey, hey!
honest.
This song is a lot better than "We Are, We Are."
Bro, I just got so pissed off. I was like, man.
I mean,
Like, think about it. Think about it. Think about it. I know it's very hard to follow the final
first
boss,
off, turn your camera on before you address me.
man. It my eyes is bloodshot. I'm keeping my shit off. It,
Well, you
it's
got
it,
them
it,
glasses. You be alright.
it's hard to follow the rock right there, the final boss,
Yeah,
and then
they were giving that fuck you spotlight. Yeah, have fun with that one.
yeah,
I feel so bad for him. But also I felt bad for the afterbirth in which it was you had to have the street profits trying to like do the interference. Like again, we gotta top that. Fuck.
hmm
But again,
that
they
was
did
no
their
good.
job. They did what they could. To me, it seems like it's likely gonna be Street Profits, Machine Guns, and DIY at Mania in a a triple threat tag match or whatever. Um, but knowing them, they may incorporate more than 3 tag teams. But if you do those 3 tag teams specifically, a part of me thinks like they may try to replicate TLC too.
I say they go for it.
I feel I agree.
Hmm.
Again, though that profits DIY and machine guns. If you're ever gonna attempt it, those are probably the 3 best to attempt it with. Send it
Hell yeah.
because once you if you got that going early in the show, you can happily man probably tell everyone top that. Put like they say, put your nuts on the table. Say okay, it's your turn. What you got? Oh, you ain't balls like me. All right, get the fuck out of my way. Assert dominance.
Nah, that should have cooked. I ain't gonna lie.
That might steal the weekend,
Mm.
the entire weekend, which again says a lot about the potential. So again, like I said, if I'm Triple H, send it
Hell yeah.
because think about it. Each weekend you'll see at least maybe one tables match, one TLC match, maybe another like stipulation like a last man standing or something like that. There, it seems like if, for example, if Jacob and Solo is a Mania match, make that a street fight. You make the Machine Guns, DIY, Street Profits, a TLC match. Those are your 2 gimmick matches for each weekend. And they're going to cook.
Hell yeah. Nah, those shits is gonna be turned up.
And can you
Real for
imagine the bullshit that Gargano and Montez would cook up by themselves?
real. Man.
You going to let that two leave them with their own thoughts? Jeff
That's
Hardy and Shane McMahon will flinch their own damn selves. And just imagine, you could add in the Fraxium, you can add in the Hardys, you can insert just another tag team, make it a 6-man. Let them cook.
like, yeah, they'll go wild
We
for
we
sure.
talk we talk about reinvigorating tag team wrestling and resetting the standard. They can make some shit happen, especially with their partnerships.
It's looking like they doing it. It's looking like they opening them doors.
Now the problem is how long are they going to let shit simmer before they just start just pulling the trigger?
Mm. I mean, honestly, they could get some if they still do like a standard deliver or whatever. So be it. NXT on WrestleMania weekend, they could slide that in on there.
No, so that's still going to happen. So what'll probably happen is standing delivery will be like that morning, early afternoon. Mania night one will be that evening.
Yup.
So Mania will be on probably 7 your time. So standing deliver maybe 11 or 12 your time.
Yeah, they could get away with having some TNA talent around WrestleMania weekend like that if they want.
Because I think this coming NXT is going to be Fraxium versus the Hardys,
Yep.
or I know the Hardys are going to
No,
be on.
it's gonna be the no quarter carriage crew. They challenged them, I think.
Yeah, yeah. But after that, we then got the very intricate main event
Man,
in which we saw Solo take the pinfall.
honestly, this had a weird aura to the match had a weird aura
It,
to
it,
it,
was- it was it was it
especially
was definitely a weird match to watch.
yeah, especially after they announced that it wasn't gonna be a 6 man match anymore. So I was like, well, why the hell y'all still keeping this match then? Like,
What I would have done different was somewhere half with the show, have Tama and Jacob jump Braun, then jump Priest separately, and then do some like chicanery with all parties to close out the show, so you end on like a chaotic moment.
yeah, this
But
ended too like regular.
Yeah, yeah, it was weird.
I feel like the message they trying to draw home for me is like, obviously these two aren't on the same page, and last week we seen
'Cause
Jacob not win.
think about think about it. Last week, Solo snuffed Tama. This week, Solo took the pinfall.
Hmm.
Jacob's
And,
already looking at it funny, like,
Jacob
you really
super
rocking
kicked him
with us or
by
what?
accident. Jacob super kicked him by accident today too to
Mm-hmm.
you know
But like I
help
said, between that
accelerate
and him
that.
taking the loss, it's like, what's really going on? What are we doing?
Hmm.
But
I
we'll see where everything goes. I mean, the jury's still out on everything.
I think the way that they slow stroking it right now, I don't think we get them at the chamber, which there's
Oh,
no
no, no,
need
we're
for it.
definitely getting him at Mania.
Yeah.
That's off rip,
Hmm.
and that's gonna be an amazing match at Mania. But like I said, I feel like you make that match a Street Fight at Mania. You make DIY Street Profits and Machine Guns a TLC match. You maybe make Roman and Seth the last man standing if you want to go the gimmick route. Mania's gonna be on some bullshit.
Yeah, it really is though.
My thing is like those three matches already. They there's because it's Mania, it can't just be a regular one pinfall as victor because those three stories have significance already. They got to have some sort of gimmick.
Yeah, I can see that. But what gimmick though? But what would
Well,
it be?
I feel like I gave each one a very appropriate one already.
Mm,
Because again, like I said, the tag one almost has to be a
the
TLC.
TLC. Hmm.
I said Solo and Jacob. You can probably make that a Street Fight or something like that. Um, Seth and Roman, you could probably make a last man standing because Roman probably wants to tell him, "Once I'm done with you, I'm done with you." Um, hmm. Yeah, I think those are probably like. I mean, one of the stories are brewing. I mean, Charlotte and Tiffany could be a regular one on one match. Jay and Gunther could be a one on one match. Cody and whoever for the time being can be a one on one match. So, I mean, what are the matches? What are the stories will be deserving of a stipulation? So I think we're good off those.
Yeah, I mean, right now as it stands, yeah.
But
Jay and
I
Gunther
mean,
could be a singles match. Cody versus whoever as of now could just be a singles match.
but we'll definitely learn more in the next probably 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. Because usually, as they've done lately, like the cards kind of finalized within the last 2 weeks before the PLE.
Hmm.
And as we learned for next week's PLE, we have 4 matches and a decision to be made. We have the tag team match between Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus versus Nia and Candice LeRae. We have the women's elimination chamber with Liv Morgan, Bianca, Naomi, Bailey, Roxanne, and Alexa Bliss. We have the men's chamber of CM Punk, John Cena, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, Seth Rollins, and Logan Paul. We have the unsanctioned match between KO and Sammy. And we have the decision to be made by Cody Rhodes by the ultimatum of The Rock.
It's crazy. You think that's gonna be how you think that segment is gonna unfold with the Rock and Cody? You think like it's
I
gonna
have
be
no
like the
fucking clue.
contract, yeah, like the contract signing, like we gonna take a section?
Either Cody or Rock, one of them's going to come out first. And then if Rock comes out first, he's going to say, Cody, I want my answer now. or Cody will come out saying, "Hey, I've made a decision." Rock will come out. That might be the case, but I have no clue what's gonna happen.
Toronto about to get a hell of a show.
Yeah, they are. And again, this is chapter. This is the final chapter leading into Mania. After this
Wow.
show, you have 6 weeks until WrestleMania, maybe 7, but still, that is gonna fly by.
Man, there's a lot of speculation, a lot of things to happen in the next few weeks. I can't wait to even see what's going to happen on Monday now, just to see if, like, what's going to happen on the other side of the coin with the other championships and other
Well, I
set
mean,
matches.
given how they've done go home shows lately, I'm not expecting too much, but to maybe solidify what's going on for the card for everything.
Mm,
We may maybe see a pull apart from like Seth and Punk just because, but that's maybe a low percentage thing. But I'm not honestly mainly because of Monday Night Raw and past PLEs. The bar is very low with them.
mm.
SmackDown isn't much higher, but SmackDown might be a plain Jane episode. But yeah, I'm not expecting too much this week out of both of them.
Okay.
Again, I would love to be wrong, but
Oh no, I feel that. Yeah,
given how they've acted the last few shows, it's like I'm starting to pick up on their habits. Which again, I mean,
yeah.
at best the shows will be fine.
I'm still trying to be open minded, but yep, when I see it, I call it out. But going into the shows, I be trying to like, give them
Yeah,
benefit
but
of the doubt.
look, at best they'll be fine. But as far as spectacular, remarkable, brilliant, and yeah, I'm not holding
At
my breath.
most, I'm gonna be honest. For the very least, I hope they give us something with the Jade situation on Monday.
If not Monday or Friday, um, I I kind of would be surprised if that's after the chamber. But then again, they got 6 weeks to play with.
Yeah,
But still, it's like that's at a point to where I mean, folks have stopped caring about it.
especially if it's
Folks
being
want
handled
folks
how
wanted it a
it's
long
being
time
handled.
ago,
Mhm.
but because it's still being drug out, it's like I mean, I think folks are giving up on it. They're just like, if it happens, cool. If not, you gotta earn my trust and excitement back now. Because it's been so long. So let's see what happens. And on top of that, how do we even get there to begin with? Exactly.
Yeah, we gotta see who's the culprit, cause now they put us in this position again.
Again, they're at a point where I don't even think that matters anymore.
It
Because
should
again,
have never. I feel like we could have got a good, clean competition between these two way long time
well,
ago.
even if the plan for that was them to face each other at Mania, it's like you still could have got this started a while ago and still been on pace.
Mhm.
Because maybe you could start like teased it. One could have eliminated the other at the Rumble, and the other one could have prevented the other from qualifying at the Chamber, something like that. I don't know, but again, we'll see what route they go. If that's still in the plans, I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah, chat. That's it. We pretty much covered all bases tonight. We appreciate y'all, and we're gonna be back on Monday. So Friday and Saturday, we got a whole week
Go
ahead of
home to
us.
the PLEs.
Yes, sir. It's gonna be a cook up. Y'all hit that QR code to take you to the song. Let's get it, chat.
Chilling at the head of the table where the bosses sit, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out, they laid a big smile on handcuffed by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. We got some shooters. Pow. This.